I thought I would do a short video here to give a few details about my primary propane gas forge that I use. I've had several questions about it from people just wanting to make their own forge, and so I thought I would just show you the one that I use. It's not very big, but it does the job. So first things first, I use an acetylene regulator. These are about 25 bucks on eBay. It goes directly into the propane tank, and then I have a standard propane hose that runs to the Ron Rail style burner. That's R-E-I-L. If you just Google that, you'll find plans for this burner. This is all standard black iron plumbing parts with a copper nipple that's capped, and the pipe in here on the other side of this nipple of this copper pipe, there's a very tiny hole that is centered in that that's centered in that pipe. It's kind of hard to see in the dark here, but it shoots the propane down into the forge, and then I just have standard brass plumbing fittings to connect to the propane hose. My forge sits on an all steel stand. This is kind of overkill. This is 1 inch thick plate I just had laying around, welded to a 4-inch base with some legs on it to stabilize it. So I use 1 layer of K-wool or ceramic blanket that is rigidized or coated with colloidal silica, a rigidizer. And then over that, I have refractory cement painted on. And then over the refractory cement, I have a couple of layers of Satanite, which is it's a fine powder you mix into a slurry and you paint that on, and that increases the refractory or the infrared reflectability on the inside of the forge. And you can see where this is white colored, and that's just where I've repaired the forge a few times from forge welding in here. So whenever I forge weld, the forge weld process just eats the liner up bad, and there's really just no good solution for that unless you have a really higher grade ceramic brick for a floor. Speaking of bricks, I use these pieces of brick as doors, and it seems to work just fine. So that's my forge. Here, I'll light it and show you. Sometimes I use one of these to light it. It's pretty easy. So if I can do this one-handed here, I'll turn the propane on. There we go. So that blue flame will sit like that for a minute, and then as the forge heats up, the entire inside of the forge will glow a very bright yellow. When it gets up to forge welding heat pretty quick, and I can turn the regulator way up and get it even higher or lower. So I can turn it down, I can turn it up. But that's it. That's my little forge. It's what I've been using for a long time. Also, you can see I've got a hole cut in the back so I can pass material through. But I have forged 3-pound hammer billets in this forge. Of course, knives, all kinds of other tongs, long pieces of stock have been pushed through there. I think all total, this forge right here, not including the stand, obviously, and not including the cost of the 100-pound propane tank, but just the forge body, the refractory materials inside, and the burner and everything, I have well under, and even the regulator, I have well under $200 in this, probably less than $150, and that's including probably enough K-wool and refractory to coat it 2 or 3 times. This is the refractory that I use. I order this from Amazon when I run out. And again, after I put the colloidal silica on the refractory, on the blanket, which I think I have some of that down here. Yeah, so this is, here's the rigidizer. And I got this rigidizer and the blanket and whatnot from Hard Luck Forge Supply. If you Google them, you'll find them. They have forge kits. I believe this would be like a small forge kit. You can get the refractory, the colloidal silica. Well, you can get all kinds of stuff there. But anyway, that's my forge. Thanks.